Walking into a courtroom for the first time, man, it can feel like stepping into a different world. It's intimidating, for sure, and it's so easy to feel lost. But what if you knew exactly what to expect? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to demystify your first appearance in a Utah criminal court. We'll break it down into simple, understandable steps so you can face it with a lot more confidence.
So, if you're the one facing that first day in court, look, feeling anxious is a completely normal reaction. But the most powerful tool you have against that feeling? It's knowledge. Seriously, understanding the process is your first step, and we're going to take it together.
First things first, let's just get one thing straight. Forget everything you've seen in the movies. Your first court appearance is not a trial with dramatic arguments and a jury. It's much more like an orientation, just an administrative first step in a longer journey. So let's start with the most basic question. What is this hearing actually for? All right, so first up, the purpose of the hearing. Once you really get the why behind this first meeting, a lot of that anxiety just starts to melt away.
So what is an initial appearance? Well, it's your first formal meeting with a judge, but the key word here is purpose. The court is not trying to decide your case today. Its only goal is to make sure you're on a level playing field, that you understand the charges, you know your rights, and you're crystal clear on what's expected of you next.
And this distinction right here is absolutely critical. Think of it this way. The left side of this chart is all about information flowing to you. The right side, that's what happens much, much later in the process. You're not going to be asked to defend yourself or enter a plea. This is purely a procedural checkpoint to get everyone on the same page.
Okay, so what's the judge actually going to do when you're up there? Well, the good news is this isn't some big mystery. It's a very structured, predictable process that follows a pretty clear script.
The judge is basically following a simple 4-point checklist. First, they'll state the official charges. Second, they'll just make sure you are who you say you are. Third, and this is a big one, they'll review your rights with you. And finally, they'll set the next date on the calendar. That's it. That's the entire agenda. Just 4 predictable steps.
Let's just zoom in on 2 of those steps for a second. Verifying your identity, that's just logistics, confirming your name, your address, but advising you of your rights, that is fundamental. The most critical right they'll talk about at this stage is your right to an attorney, which is, without a doubt, your most important asset moving forward.
Next, let's tackle a specific task that can sound kind of intimidating, but it's actually a totally routine part of the process. We're talking about the book and release.
You know, that phrase, booked into jail, can cause a lot of fear. And that's understandable. But look at what it actually means. It's just a procedural step. You report to the jail, you get your photograph and fingerprints taken, and you leave. It's really just an administrative record-keeping task. So you might be wondering, okay, what happens if I haven't done this yet? It's a really common situation, so seriously, don't panic. The court has a simple standard procedure for this. If you haven't completed the book and release, the judge will simply order you to get it done before your next scheduled court date. And get this, they'll even give you the paperwork you need to take with you to the jail. It's a really clear, direct instruction. No guesswork involved. Honestly, you should think of it as just a simple checklist. Pro tip, call the jail beforehand to schedule a time. This is a key step to make it all go smoothly. Bring the documents the court gave you, get your photo taken, get your fingerprints done. That's the entire task, broken down into manageable little steps. So once this initial appearance is over, what's next? This isn't the end of the road. It's really just the beginning. So let's take a look at the path forward. This timeline shows how that initial appearance is just the starting point. Afterward, the real legal work begins. Your attorney will start gathering evidence from the prosecutor. It's a process called discovery, and they might even begin negotiations. Each future court date is simply the next step on this path. You know, ultimately, this whole thing comes down to one really powerful idea: being prepared and being informed. The legal system is actually designed to provide you with information about your rights. By understanding the process, you're not just some passive participant, you're an active partner in your own case. And that knowledge truly is your best tool. And that leads us right here. You now understand the first steps, the purpose of the hearing, and the road ahead. You're no longer in the dark. So the question is no longer what's going to happen to me, but instead, what's the first question I'm going to ask my attorney? Being prepared with the right questions is the most powerful way you can begin the next phase of this journey.